Hi guys, hello. It's been a while, hasn't it? I've needed to take some time off for myself. Some of you will know from my last video, which is still on Odyssey, but I took down from YouTube for a reason that I don't want to talk about really. But yeah, I've had some health issues that popped up and that literally triggered a very deep part of me. So it was time to, to do the hermit thing. I'm sure you all know, well, those of you who are doing the inner work for real know about that. And I've spoken about this in my videos a lot, haven't I? Keys, triggers, things that happen, events that happen that are in and of themselves very traumatic often enough, but that trigger deep trauma within us that needs to be cleared out. That's part of this journey home. It just works that way. And if you resist that, you're not going to really get anywhere. 7 years ago, when all this started for me, I've been on this path a long time, but it got real 7 years ago, as in I began to really access the self-hate programming, which is very severe, very, I've talked about the toxic shame construct, well, self-hate programming. The reason that we're so traumatized, as in all true souls are severely targeted and traumatized, no doubt about that. Because trauma creates the toxic shame construct, and the glue that holds it all together is self-hate, a rabid self-hate. And a lot of people cannot or will not acknowledge that. They won't. They cannot face the darkest of the dark within themselves for whatever reason, and yet, well, we've all heard that saying, and it's bandied about a lot. I know it's beginning to sound like a platitude, but the only way out is through. Wow, it's incredibly hard. No, that's an understatement. Wow. What I've been through these last, month, 5 weeks, I don't even know, man, has just been beyond words, really has. But I do know this. It's in the very darkest of places that you really find your love, because it's the only thing that gets you through. It's where you find true humility, and I don't mean groveling humility, I don't mean that at all, this self-negation or anything, no. But where you have to get to a point where you have to let go, and letting go doesn't mean that you feel better at all, but you become the witness of your own insanity, your own trauma-based insanity. It's like all the different voices in your head, all the different intrusive thoughts, the black hand that I generate, all these horrible thoughts. You need to be acutely aware, in a state of clear awareness of all of that. It's the only way for you to see that how it's influenced you, your consciousness and your behavior, how it lies and twists and gaslights inside your own head, and you let it run the show. There is always a part of us that is compliant with it because of the trauma that we have sustained, the self-hate programming. It manifests, and there is a really, really, really strong impulse to go along with it, to feed it, to be in it, to live it out, to let it ride you. It's very addictive, extremely so, but it makes you feel like absolute shit. If you give it half a finger, it will take your whole arm. It just will. You meet this on every level of this experience. You meet that monster. See, the only power the dark side has over us is our trauma, you see, and that self-hate energy. That is how it has all that power over us. That's how it has all that power in this world. If you look at the world and you really see it, wow. I mean, I became so horrifically aware of the complete lack of safety in this world. You know, there is no safety, there is no well-being. There is a shitload of really nasty, just targeting going on. I mean, assault beings. Oh, it's like we've got a bullseye painted on our forehead, you know, and yet we have to go into all of that. We have to acknowledge all of that victimization, the persecution, all the trauma, the self-hate programming, all the areas where we literally are against ourselves, that the dark side uses against us. That is where the black hand controls us, in those areas, and that is where we must go. And instead of believing it and going along with it, wallowing, we need to learn to differentiate. I see what is going on, and I am letting that go. And that is a long, drawn-out process. For me, I've been doing that for a whole month now. It's had us by the throat our whole life, and we haven't known. It has everybody out there by the throat, and they don't know. There's just so many truths here in this world that when you go through this journey in honesty, when you truly do the work, you know, it's like you go into the darkest of the dark within you, but you also see the lightest of the light. You know, your eyes literally are open to the truth. Wow. There is a saying that those who know do not speak, and those who speak do not know. And I've noticed in this world, everybody is speaking. Everybody is nattering on and on and on, and oh, this is happening, and oh, they're doing this, and oh, they're going to do this, and oh, this is going to happen. And everybody is dabbling in that stew, and it's a very toxic stew, and there's all these different voices, and there's all this conflict, and all this opposition, and all this resistance, and all this bile, and all this, no, you're wrong, this is happening, no, you're wrong, and oh, it's just like a bit like what is happening on the internal plane, where there's all these voices as well. It's like an insane asylum that everybody just keeps perpetuating. And then you find your own little island of, you're out of it you have these moments where you're out of all of that, and you become supremely aware of what is really going on, that it isn't real, that the external is just a kind of weird projection of an internal state of consciousness, where, yeah, and it's in that moment of stillness, even whilst surrounded by complete tortuous insanity, but you're still, that you see, and you know and you see, and you know that it's a lie, it's all a lie. That you have everything you need within you to make it home. That you're a being of light, and that true well-being is yours by right. But nobody can give that to you. You have to give it to yourself by remembering to choose love, self-love. It will come in like a great big avalanche. It will come in as, oh, love isn't going to help you. Love isn't going to do anything. Love is weak. You're nothing. You're this, you're that. You know, ooh, madness. It's always come down to that leap of faith, guys, you know. It's always been about that, the leap of faith. Because how do you trust the light when you've been so severely mistreated, abused, manipulated, tortured? The thing is that I think you get to a point where you eschew this entire experience as evil, and that is a big mistake. See, now I have derived meaning from it, very much so, very much so. I've been going through my entire life, my past, bit by bit by bit by bit. It's like going through an archive, as it were. And just taking stock and knowing and seeing the merit, seeing the light in it. The sort of qualities one develops: courage, patience, integrity, wisdom, resilience. There are so many qualities that you develop in this experience that you wouldn't need to develop in a place such as where we came from. I came here not because it's a soul trap or because I was put here against my will as such, though I dare say that is part of the equation. It's like you design a game, a very elaborate game, and you put yourself in it. And you're the hero of the quest. You know, you need enemies, you need all kinds of, you want this experience, you're going to make it very elaborate, you know, it is that way. Ultimately, victimhood is a lie, but we have experienced it, and so it has to be seen, it has to be acknowledged, it has to be validated, but it cannot be allowed to possess us anymore, you know. Everybody who is truly souled and who is truly doing the work for real will get through that, will go through that, will be in that state of abject torture, and whereby you are in part complicit with the black hand, the dark generator, as it were, in tormenting yourself, you know. And it serves you not, but then again it does, you know. That's the paradoxical nature of this entire experience, is that it doesn't serve you because it makes you feel absolutely, it just goes from bad to worse, really. However, it also serves a massive purpose because you become more and more aware. It's very much part of the experience. This entire experience is actually very, very paradoxical, you know. You get through that. You come out of it, you see the light, you take a different turn, you go back into it, you come out of it, you take a different turn, and all the whilst you're going through all of that, more and more you see, more and more you get, each in their own way, you know. But you always know, well, I do, mostly. There are times where I don't know whether it's true, but, you know, when evil has you believing that this is all there is and you're never going to get out or whatever, but I've felt my entire life, actually, that something has my back. And we are not doing this alone. And it's not a hierarchical thing at all, but it's like being part of a sea of infinite unconditional love and harmonious creativity that supports us in this endeavor. You know, it's when you're ready to emerge from the toxic shame construct and all that engenders in us, bit by bit, you finally see the light of self-empowerment and self-determination, which has nothing to do with force, which has nothing to do with, we have to get together and make this happen, we have to find a way out. It isn't like that. It's not like that at all. It's your consciousness changes. When the hell contagion, all that insanity that lives within your own psyche, that is trauma and self-hate programming, when it's been neutralized and harmonized again, the more that happens, you still go through these deep, dark experiences, but you change, you live, you go higher and higher and higher, you understand more and more, and you get it, you begin to get it, and you see that it is all about self-empowerment, and ultimately going home is that everything around you will shift. I haven't experienced that as such in any major way, but I've seen it in small ways. I talk about the maverick effect a lot, how everything is interconnected, how it is very paradoxical yet profoundly meaningful. But you've got to give it your all. You have to be committed to this. You know? If there are people who continually let evil win inside their own psyche, that there is so much self-hate going on there. I know this from experience, right? That the battle is very pitched. It's incredibly difficult, and the self-deception factor is big. It's where you believe that, oh, this is the truth, but you know it isn't really. You know that because it's so riddled with hatred, and so riddled with rage, and so riddled with vengeance, and so riddled with egotistical stuff. You know that is not the light. The light is very peaceful. It lets go and it emerges. It knows it is not a powerless victim. It's a phoenix, yeah? It's been through all of these horrendous experiences, and now it is time to emerge, and it does. And when it does, at some moment, some pivotal moment, everything starts to shift. You know, the world is always shifting, hence the Mandela effect. I've noticed this over the years, how when you do your soul retrieval work, you go down to some very dark levels, or to some higher levels. You're not in the same reality from day to day. I've noticed subtle changes in my body, subtle changes in my environment. It's like, oh, hold on a minute, that mirror, for example, in my bathroom, which is crooked now, it's hanging crooked. And I've checked it out, and it never was before, but it is now. So I'm not in the same reality. I've checked it out thoroughly, examined it thoroughly, I've examined the nails in the wall, etc., etc. I know. You know, sometimes you have to go into very, very dark parts of yourself, that language in much lower vibrational realities, in order to get that part of you back. And the resistance will be, wow, no, I'm not going to trust, no, I won't have faith, there is no light, there is no love, there is only hate and rage and self-hate, and I'm going, well, it is that way. It's just like in What Dreams May Come. It's such a great film, for me anyway, where he has to go and get his wife out of hell. She believes she deserves to be there, you see, that's the whole point. We feel we deserve to be in hell, and that is what evil has. That is the power it has over us. Hence the toxic shame construct, all that self-hate programming, all that trauma. The whole world is like that. Whilst proclaiming it not to be the case, whilst proclaiming that, and the MPCs and mundane reality reinforcement officers, of course, are there to reinforce that entire insanity, by saying, well, it's wonderful, we love life, and how old age is so incredible, and disease is so wonderful. No, yeah, the whole thing. I mean, we know this already anyway. It sort of feels to me that, well, if you're going to do it, you're going to get it, you're doing it, and you're getting it. It's simply a fact, it's a done deal that you're going to fulfill your quest, that you will discover your purpose, your meaning, your power. And it has nothing to do with force, I mean, we think that for a long time, because that is what this world teaches us, right? That in order for something to happen, in order for change to be effective, we have to take action, we have to make it happen. And it's all very distorted masculine bullshit, because actually it's very much about letting go and being in this sense of ultimate receptivity, which is pure self-love. Hey, I am an infinite being. I am. This world. This is the trauma. It literally makes us blind. It makes us deaf. It makes us dumb. No, Lucy, it's not time yet. Come here. No. To anything other than this experience, right? We've all had that voice in our head. Oh, this is all there is, this is all there is. It's a complete lie. It makes us completely oblivious to anything else. And it casts us in this fallen state. And its accompanying behaviors and state of consciousness, which is, and it's fucking bullshit. It really is. You eventually see the light, you get it, you think, oh yeah, right, it's all a complete lie. It's a complete lie, it's a distortion, it's a lie, it's an illusion. And the way out is very simple, you see. Evil wants you to think it's very difficult, and you have to struggle and you have to fight, and that's not true at all. But to stand in your love, to be the witness, to stand in your love, to keep letting go, to fight by not fighting is really tough, because you're so used to fighting, struggling, pushing, resisting. Oh, wow. You think that's what's going to do the trick, that's going to help you, and it never does. It makes you feel like shit, yeah. Say hello. Here's my little looms. Yeah. Oh dear. I know things are really distorted and insane. I mean, you look at what's happening on the external plane, and it's just wow. But I know that it's all staged. It's not real. It's not real. Evil wants everybody to think it's incredibly powerful. It does that to us on a daily basis, and it's exactly the same on the external plane. It's doing that now in a much louder, overtly vicious, sadistic manner, because its days are numbered, and it will lie and distort everything. I mean, the amount of people that still believe that, you have to live and grow old and die, and that's the only way out, or you have to, whatever, do this or that, all these weird kind of, it's all part of the illusion. There's no need for death. Death is an abomination. it's so easy to get stuck and to get trapped in all the different distortions of this realm that, oh, you know, you have to die and then you have to go to the NDE place and you must not go into the light because otherwise they'll, you know, put you back here again. It's all a soul trap and we're not going to get out and this is happening and that's happening. And so many people talk about that. Every time I go on Facebook, it's like same old shit. It's that same old shit. Or it's that same old shit, or it's that same old shit, and it's like perpetuation cycles of the same old fucking shit. And I'm like, no, not having it, I'm just not. I know straight away when something is a distraction that wants to bait me and lure me back in to emotional compliance, energetic compliance with this fake bullshit, you know? And it's like, no, I'm not doing that. Because when you trust your own power, your own sovereignty, you know you have everything you need to do whatever it is you want to do. I don't. You know, if you don't want to die, if you don't want to be sick, if you don't want to be trapped here, if you don't want to be a victim, but you want to return... Now, Looms, come on now. But you want to, you know, to experience what I call the great adventure, which is the light reset. The miracle, and that truly is awakening, that comes from within, because that is our birthright, that's who and what we are, that's what we do. We don't need to put up with any of this 3D mundane reality bullshit like death or disease or struggle or, oh, we have to, it's nonsense, guys, it's bullshit, it really is. And I mean, sometimes, you know, it takes being triggered in a massive way and going into really, really, really dark places. It takes that for us to come to certain epiphanies, you know, and understandings. Because, of course, that programming is brought up and neutralized and alchemized, and so, you know, the more you do that, the more clearly you will see. But you've got to continue to do the work, and it will tell you, oh, you've got nothing to show for it, and well, you're not ever going to get anywhere. But when you pay attention to your state of consciousness, you know that that simply isn't the truth. I mean, what are you going to do? Give up? Just sit like a pig in shit in the darkness and the self-hate and the shame, perpetuating the same old bullshit. It's a very hard journey, it's a very tough journey. But I, for one, have gotten a lot from it. It has merit for me. There are things, qualities I have developed because of it. You know, it's like an orange. You can squeeze it and you get the juice out of it, right? And it's worth it. I don't know. Guess I just wanted to do this little video, and yeah, keep doing the work. Don't give up on yourself. Don't believe the lies of the dark side, guys, you know? Choose love. And even when you feel, because it lies and it manipulates and it gaslights you, that all is lost and evil always wins and this is all there is and whatnot. See if you can release that and let go of that and go into your heart space and be with yourself and love yourself. Choose yourself. Yes? Nobody can do that for you. You don't need saviors or messiahs or teachers or gurus or anything at all. You need you. You need you. That is what it's always been about. You entered this realm and you lost yourself. You became separated from yourself. That's what trauma does. Okay? That's always been the name of the game. So the way to go home is to be reunited with yourself. And that is what this is all about now. That's what it is. When you come home to yourself, you go home. It's not real, it's not a physicality type of thing. It's all energetic. It's a sea of consciousness. You project your reality, your experience. Change the projector or change the film. You see, that's it. Love yourself, choose yourself, be with yourself. Commit to yourself, to your sovereignty. Remember, you are a being of light. And true magical well-being is yours by right.